Hello, everyone. This is Duran's Healing, and welcome to tonight's Healing Circle. For those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel where I provide weekly energetic updates for the collective. And as I began to blaze this fire tonight, gather around and contribute your very powerful energy. Whether it be a like, a share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages are showing up in your world. And for starters, for those of you who are new here to my channel, my name is Duran's Healing and I provide cowrie shell divination readings. This is an ancient indigenous technology system where I use crystals, stones, and bones, a lot of assorted items here, in conjunction with the 5 elements, the fire, the water, nature, earth, and the mineral, to help me get a better grasp on the energies that are moving throughout the cosmos. And I also use an oracle deck of cards here to help me read a little bit deeper into the messages, so that I can get a more accurate or a more efficient download of what the stones are saying. And with that being said, I would like to jump right into the messages to see what the higher energy has in store for us tonight. And the message that's speaking the loudest is coming from your spirit guides, your ancestor team, or your higher team, and they're in the earth. But what I'm seeing is a dock. You're unloading the dock. But there are 2 very important messages that they're bringing attention to. And I can see the first message has to do with community. You integrating yourself back into the paradigm. Or I'm seeing that there's a lot of energy trying to gravitate towards you, wanting and yearning for your energy. There's something here about them feeling or sensing the potency of your frequency. They know you're carrying the goods. The purity of your energy is quite attractive at this moment. And there are a lot of people that want to stake their claims. They want to get a whiff of your energy. That's one message that I'm seeing here in the stones. But the other message that I can see here is that even those people or energy that may not be in communication with you still have their eye on you, still have some degree of attachment or conversation around wondering what you're doing, what you're up to, how you're living life. There's something in this message that lets me know you have been very stingy with your energy. You may be quite particular about who and what you share your energy with and who you share your energy for or towards. You're not giving it out all willy-nilly. You may have done this before, sharing yourself, giving yourself to the world in this way, but there has been a lesson learned. I don't know if you gained the lesson of something I'm downloading around being cautious or being careful. You may have been burnt. You may have been taken advantage of, or your energy may have been misused. Something here that signifies to me you've learned something about being over giving when it comes to your energy. That's one download that I'm getting here. But the other download that I'm receiving here is that you're starting to honor yourself. You're starting to see the magnetism, the polarizing effect that your energy has. And you may have pulled it in and started to give it to yourself, to love on yourself, pour into yourself in the most fulfilling way. And you're starting to see that you're really quite interesting. Your energy feels really good because the blossoming of the effects that you can feel in your own world by giving to yourself. is starting to do wonders. You're starting to see the fruits of your labor. About time. About time you've learned to pour properly into yourself so that you can sense what other people have been feeling and getting this whole time. And now that you've pulled it back or restricted in some way, is causing quite a bit of a stir. But not only that, what I can see here is causing quite a bit of an attraction. People are being attracted to your energy as you hold it in. People are trying to get to you, navigate themselves to you, wiggle their way into the insides of your corner, your inner circle, to get a wisp of this energy, to get a little bit of what you have. And you can feel this pulling on your energy. You can feel this energetic pull of people wanting and yearning for you. And there are two approaches that you can take. And I'm not saying that you have to choose one or the other. You may use them simultaneously. You may dip in and out of both of these approaches. But the first approach that I'm seeing here in the stones to help you get beyond all of these people that are wanting your energy is that you have to lean on your personal healing journey, and it will keep you afloat. But what I mean by this is that your healing journey has gotten you to this point. And it helps you see a larger vision. It helps you expand your consciousness well beyond your interpersonal relationships, your interactions with people on the day-to-day life. But to help you elevate or to help you move above or rise above, if you take a step and look at how far you've come, and where you have came from, you will energetically start to ascend above all the social constructs of interactions, of the heavy demands that these energies are pulling on you for. Because this elevation that you have created for the sake of your healing is kind of like a safe space. It's kind of like a corner that you go into to help you get rid of or to help you stay away from all the chaotic noise. What I'm seeing is like a studio with white noise that helps you drown out all of these energies so you can focus in on a higher mission. Because the truth of the matter is that your vision, your focus in on the mission at hand is what helped you remove your energy from your world, from your paradigm, from the 3D, and create this safe escape for you. And this will keep you afloat, reminding yourself why you're doing what you're doing, why you made the choice to lean on spirituality in this way, to put it at the forefront of your life, and it gave you direction. It gave you a focal point. It gave you a mission as to why you're here, as what you direct your energy towards. Removing yourself from the chaos or from the crowd. But due to this energy, it's not necessarily removing you from the crowd. It will help you rise above and keep you afloat. Still interacting with people, but at a certain level. You will only give a certain percentage of yourself to people. You will not go the whole 9. It will prevent you from doing that. Because once you tap into a certain energetic space, you will know that you've met your marker. It's like your battery, your social battery begins to run out. And you know it's time to go. It's time to get into a different energetic space before it sinks you down, before it gets you in your head. But this is a part of your healing journey. Lending yourself to the community, lending yourself to the people. However, you're coming with a little bit more boundaries now. And leaning on your healing journey will help you keep yourself afloat. And then you will choose who and what to give your energy to. And what you will find as you step into this approach is that there will be a small group of people that you will always answer the call for, that you will be there for, that you will dow with your blessings, that you will dow with your energy. And they will be greatly humbled by it because they will see and they can see this very same attraction towards you. They can see people yearning for your energy, but you have blessed them with your time, with your energy. And it's because you can see the light in them. They're the brightest amongst the crowd. They're those who you know that they will take your wisdom, they will take your energy and use it for good. You will not be manipulated. You will not be taken advantage of. More importantly, they will protect you. I'm seeing some of you connect with people who value friendship, who see you in your fullness, who don't look at you as some sort of guru or some sort of healer or nothing. They view you as a human being and they want to know, how is your day going? How are you doing? Are you okay? And you will answer them and say, yes, this is a part of you allowing yourself to be a human. I'm seeing this in that way. And the other way I'm seeing you dow people is in business ideas. You can see people wanting to push forward. You can see leaders wanting to maintain leadership positions, holding groups up, and looking for another leader to offer them some sense of guidance, being in the midst of the crowd. And you know what heavy burden that comes with. And there is a sort of compassion I can see you have for these type of people. And you will check in, you will respond with empathy for these groups or these type of people and offer them words of encouragement, words of guidance to help them be more empowered as a leader in this way, because you know what it comes with this amount of responsibility, always having to answer the call and be there for someone. It carries a lot of weight. And though you're off to the side or choosing to lean on your healing journey to bypass the heaviness of being in community in that way, at this moment, you will offer them a degree of solace. That's what I'm seeing here in the way you will connect with people, very intentionally curating or funneling your energy out in a very specific way. Because you know it will bring about residuals. It will bring about abundance. It will be a return on your investment because these type of people will do something with it. Energy will flow in abundance from them. Monetarily, energetically, a rippling effect. This is your way of touching the community in a different way. By this approach, it will still bring about healing. It will still touch the masses and water them like a farmer watering its crop. That's the level that I'm seeing this approach will actually reach. It is doing it. Period. Wow, very interesting message here. And the second approach that I'm seeing here and how you're navigating or how to navigate around all of these people and these energies that are attracting or attracted to you is that you have to dive head first. You have to plunge deep into the crowd and ride the wave like a crowd surfer. Your crowd surfing is what I'm seeing here. You have to get your hands dirty and get into the thick of it. Be a part of this community. Be a part of the group. This is not necessarily what I'm feeling your first choice. But you know that it comes with you being seen, you being visible on this level, because your frequency is so different. Your frequency is so otherworldly and highly attractive. It's like, who is this person? You already know this, People are often wondering about you. And when you finally step out, all eyes are on you. And it's your authenticity that strikes them the most. People are often watered down by the same thing over and over again. You've been in this dock, holding in your energy, holding in on your power, retracting it from being influenced by anything or anyone. The purity of your position is what's striking people the most at their consciousness, at their frontal lobe, which sparks up the question of who is this? This will bring in the views. This will bring in people up close to you to finally get to ask you certain questions. And to you, it's rather mundane. What do you do for a living? Who are you? Where do you work? What are you wanting to know? Your profile. And you will share with them like it's nothing. You're kind of an open book when people ask you these things. But as you sit here amongst the group, as your energy stays in it for a while, you will start to feel the current consciousness rise up as you're in the midst. And this is the challenge that you know you will always be met with. And it's the obstacle showing up here along this thread of consciousness surrounding community. And the reason why this obstacle is right dead in the center of this thread is because when you're dealing with the consciousness or the collective, you have to assume that people have not done the work that you've done, because this is what you have came out of. The very thing you've worked towards or worked your way through is what you're going back to. The very same type of energy, the stagnant energy, people who don't do the work, or people who are weighed down consciously by this energetic thread. And it's very innocent, but it's still here. But right beside the obstacle is your light. This is often very striking to me. When it comes to the masses, there is going to be an obstacle. As you stay in it longer, people will start to chatter. People will feel triggered by your energy. People will give you certain energetic privileges because you know who you are and what this story is attached to. And you may even tell them you cannot stay here but for so long because you know this obstacle, this energy that is permeating throughout the consciousness will seek to bring you down, seek to cause this chaos around you, because that is the natural order of things. But I would like to pull some cards to see what this obstacle is about as you're stepping into the community, as you're stepping into a group, a certain energetic hub of your interest. I can see some of you going to work and starting to feel this because you've been here for quite some time. And you're starting to feel agitated. You're starting to feel this energy rise up against you. Because they know you come with a wealth of knowledge. You come with something, a different level of skill set. It's not just your energy alone. It's not just because you look beautiful or you're attractive. Your aura is attractive. But what the truth of the matter here is that you understand energy and you know that you've mastered this level. And you know that it's not very difficult for you. But what I will do is I would like to pull some cards to see what this obstacle is about in the collective consciousness surrounding you stepping out and being seen. What is this obstacle about? And the cards that came out were Divinely Guided, Release Fear, Metatron's Cube, Minimize, and Off the Grid. And what I'm downloading in terms of this obstacle is that you were meant to be here. You were born to navigate this planet as you see fit. But because you're so conscious of your energetic body, you will not subject yourself to this type of rhetoric, this type of energy, if the higher energy did not divinely guide you to be there. You're there for a higher mission and a higher purpose. And because the higher energy has said that you were meant to be in community, you were meant to be seen, you had to release this fear surrounding people, surrounding the chaos that comes along with you being treated a certain way when it comes to you triggering people. To claim your territory, to stake your claim here on this planet. And the time has come for you to step out, and you did, and you are doing, or you will do, depending on where you are. Metatron's cube came out signifying the manifestation. Everything you've cultivated in the 5D, now it's time to materialize itself here into the paradigm that you live in. That's why the Metatron cube is looked at as a 3D dimension, because it's about materialization, manifestation of that which is not seen. You have not been seen. Now that you are, materializing is in effect. That's why you're being forced out. That's why you will be out, and you will be seen in a way that your frequency allows you to be seen in whatever way, whatever community, whatever position, whatever outlet you decide to step forth in. And even in that, you don't show up at 100%. Some of you are conscious about the way you're appearing in the 3D, not fully revealing who you are, not fully showcasing the magnitude of your energy, still minimizing yourself in a way that doesn't disrupt the current consciousness. But somehow, even in that, it doesn't change the process of this obstacle from reoccurring or reappearing, because it's about frequency. You can't minimize your frequency. You can minimize your approach. You can minimize your attire. You can minimize the way you show up, but you cannot minimize your frequency, and it is very loud because you're big. You're big in the 5D. You're big in the spirit world. And when you show up in the 3D, and whatever community you decide to show up in, your energy is still quite large. And this is what is causing this obstacle to sniff you out and to want to shut it down. And you know that it will come. That's why you know that you have a limited time, no matter what position you're in. Because you're not the type of person that enjoys chaos. You've learned to bypass or escape this type of energy. You know about it now. That's why you live off the grid. You live off in your own world. You do your own thing to avoid this type of energy. But because your energy has been called to the altar, you're taking it as a duty. You're taking it as a part of your responsibility at this current time. And that's why the light is here on the other side of this obstacle. Your brilliance, you know what's coming to you. You know you have a certain time frame here before this obstacle or this negative energy start to pile up upon each other and make you the problem. Because your light, your frequency draws out their insecurities, their deficiencies, their shortcomings. But you're above that. You're rising above that consciousness, and you're here for a very specific reason. You're here for a purpose, and you're not trying to disrupt things. But you are disrupting things. That's what your energy comes with. You're not trying to, but that's what you will do. because your light is here to break up the monotony of things. You're here to break down or to break through this obstacle, to reveal to people there is much more to their cattiness. There's much more to them than what their lower selves is projecting out in the 3D at this time. And you're here revealing that. That's why you're here. That's why you're being seen, to bring to light the challenges that this current community that you're stepping into is dealing with, what has been buried deep for quite some time, to reveal it, to bring it out into the open so it can be addressed. See, this is quite unique, the way the stones are falling, and it's falling in a circular motion. Your obstacle next to your brilliance, next to your obstacle stone, action stone, and your bone, a bone to pick. And this lets me know that there is an issue surrounding this obstacle that has been permeating in the community that your energetic body has chosen to step out into. And you're revealing that. You're bringing light to it. And you're calling the elders, calling the leaders to address with an actionable plan to pick out what is irritating the community that has gone unaddressed for quite some time. You know, when you eat and there's still a piece of meat in between your teeth, and you need a toothpick to come in and pick that meat out from your gums before it starts to irritate you. That's what you're here to do. You're here to pick out what's irritating the homeostasis or the equilibrium of the current consciousness in that community, so that it could be addressed, so that they can rise above, to be a healthier version, to be a healthier people, to be a healthier community. That's why you're here. But if you're not careful, you can get caught up in this loop. You can get caught up in the current social climate because you are in community and it does feel good to be seen and to be heard. However, if you're not careful, you can stay in this loop over and over again. But one way you can notice that you're in the loop and it's time for you to go along your journey, if you're telling people the same thing over and over again and they're not making changes, they're not doing anything different to solve this obstacle, to solve this issue, your service needs to be ended. You need to retract yourself, because you're not the kinds of person to make concession after concession after concession. You're not here to spin the record over and over again for the sake of doing it. You're here to help them rise above, because if you don't, you will stay and get antagonized and be piled on with this negative energy, and you will be weighed down, completely made a different person, not being able to recognize yourself, failing to fulfill your mission. And one way that you can get out of this and to separate yourself is by understanding you're here to transform the community, to transform this environment. And when you're not seeing transformation after being there, well past your margin, you know that it's time to go. Pull your energy back from this community. And once you do, then transformation will occur. Because as long as you stay there, you will be used as the scapegoat. And people will fail to take accountability for what they need to do as members of their own community, of their own social club, of their own group. You're not meant to be a part of that group. You're here to break up the consciousness in order for transformation to seep in, to elevate them. Step back and nurture yourself a bit. And what you will find is a blossoming of a subgroup or a sub community of people who also have removed themselves from the mainstream or the top level of which this group lives on. And it's like a subgroup, a group that are living on a more peaceful thread of consciousness, people that are living more abundantly, more liberated, more fruitful. And they've found their home, and you will find your home here off the grid, empowered. I'm not particularly sure. I'm very interested to see what this is because the stones are getting a little muddy. There's not a lot of very keystones here to say exactly what this is in this transition as you step back. But what is this home about off to the side of this group? This is what you're looking for. This is where you will plant your seed. This is where you will plant your home to build community on a very large scale. That's what I'm seeing here in the stones. What is this transformation about? And in regards to this transformation that will segue you into your home, the cards that came out were subspace, dimension, sailing, pressure, ancient, ready to blossom, and in the mist. And what I'm downloading here is that this is about your larger dream, your larger vision. And it's coming down to reality. Oh, it is much more closer than you think. The world that you envisioned for yourself. This community or this group that you've initially started with or will step out into, this is the beginning. This is the initial part of where you belong, but you have to go deeper. You have to go further. This is not where you're meant to plant your feet. This is where you're meant to be ushered in through. But you have to get to the subspace dimension, this other world, this other realm, this underworld that is here, of people that has cultivated themselves to the very same space that you've dreamt of. These are the type of people that will have the same dream, the same visions, the same idea that you have. But you have to go through the entry point first. And once you do, you're able to set sail. Oh, this dock that I was seeing initially, unloading and loading. This is the docking place that you've started at. But as you get off of this ship, you're met with a lot of vendors. You're met with a lot of people who are selling things. And you're just happy to be where you've made it, where you've longed for it, where you've desired to be. And you're happy to be here because you finally made it to where you have been longing for. But now that you're bypassing the market, this entry group is the marketplace. And as you step further into this marketplace, you will start to feel this pressure, this entry point, and it's almost like a rites of passage to get through. But because this is your ancient calling, this is your vision, this is your dream that you've always dreamt of, not just a dream. But what I'm talking about is this is an ancient quest that you've been on, that your forefathers has positioned you to take on. They have done a great deal of the legwork for you to be to this point or be at this point that you're at now. They've planted the seed. Now you're ready to blossom and step into the world that you've finally desired. But you're just in the midst of the beginning stages of your dreams. But you have to keep pushing forth. You can't get caught up in the pressures, in the obstacles, in the entry point of the marketplace. You buy your goods, you get your souvenir, but this is not your home. You have to keep trucking along, and what you will find is the very people who have made it their home, who have made a village here. And you will meet the community of empowered people where you can finally plant your feet to say, I'm home now. Period. Oh, very interesting message. Very powerful message here. Thank you all for being here in tonight's Healing Circle. Thank you all for being here in tonight's Healing Circle. And before I go, I would like to change the trajectory because this sophistication stone is sticking out to me and pulling my energy in. I don't know what this is about, but I would like to dive into the stones to see what this sophistication stone is about because it's ringing on my energy. And what I'm seeing here in conversation, continuing the conversation around this dock, there is a loading and unloading zone. As you merge yourself into community and dealing with all sorts of things, as I articulated in the beginning message, in the latter message, it has to do with what you're unloading, what you have on your ship, what you brought to this marketplace, ultimately to your new home, the home you dreamt of. This is why you were on this voyage in the first place, is to deliver the service of goods, delivering the goods. And it's about your sophistication in a very particular source of information here, and it's coming from the fire. What is this? I don't know. But I would like to pull some cards to see what you're here to deliver, to bring to the community that you will call your home. You've came a long way. You've traveled many seas to get here, and you've made it. But what did you bring? Why did you stay so strong? Why did you keep your eyes set on your mission, battling many storms, many waves, overcoming many giants, defeating many gauntlets and many demons to get to this point? You knew you were carrying something sacred. I don't know if you know this, but I would like to dive into the cards to see what you were carrying, and it has to do with your sophistication. What is this sophistication about? And in terms of the sophistication that you're carrying for the community, for the people, the cards that came out were complicated, pulled in a different direction, wisdom, cutting, and psyche. And what I'm downloading here is that for quite some time, your experience was really complicated. Ooh, very difficult, very challenging. You didn't know whether you were going right or left, in or out, or if you were even on the damn ship. You were the captain and you didn't even know it. The challenges in your world being pulled in many different directions by the energetic pull of the heaviness of these different situations you were undergoing were really cultivating your level of wisdom, sharpening your skills as a general, as a lieutenant, causing you to cut out certain thinkings, certain perspectives. It was hard for you to hold on to certain thought processes because each challenge that you defeated, each obstacle that you overcame, you learned that you could not hold on to a certain perspective because your knowledge advanced. You had to get rid of it because it was opposing truths. You had to choose the highest one. And it kept you going on your journey. That's what calls you or called you to know that you made the right choice, because you stayed true and you started to move on your journey, sailing down the sea. It's like you were staying stagnant. And as you made the right choice, you started to move. You started to feel movement, making very hard decisions. I can see you coming up against families, mothers, fathers, but you stayed true to your moral high ground. And you did not have a respectable person. It didn't matter who they were. What you cared about was a higher truth, a higher calling, a higher mission. And if people weren't divinely aligned with the truth, you had to cut it. You had to cut them. And you've been on this journey, sailing this ship for a very long time. But you were on a ship of truth. And any giant you had to defeat, you were coming up against another frame of thinking. You were coming up against a moral issue. You were coming up against a system of thinking. And you were challenged. Challenging your perspective, challenging your ideology, challenging your fitness as a spiritual healer. That's why you're confident as you are. That's why you're okay with letting go of certain thinking if it comes up against a higher truth. Because when it seeks into your psyche, seeks down into your physiological makeup, you can feel it. Not only that, the ship that you're on, the life that you're living starts to go in a higher direction. It starts to move. You start to get abundance. You're starting to get a return on your investment. It's like you get an award every time you answer the problem correctly. And when you get it wrong, you stay in the same position. You stay in the same place. And you get met with another challenge. This is the life that you have lived. And I can see it. And it's quite tiring. But now that you've made it, Jesus, you've made it to the dock. After answering all these questions correctly, you know that you know what you know. What I'm seeing is like the deadliest catch. That series of these fishermen. Of going out to sea, catching all these crates of crab over these gauntlets, over these storms. And now that you've made it to the docking place, you have a wealth of goods that is filled to the highest level of your lower deck to be able to give to your community. Don't get caught up in the marketplace. Sell your goods. Give your goods to the community, your home, because that's who it's meant for. And you will be seen as a leader, as the last avatar of the very thing that the people need. Period. Very interesting message. Thank you all for being here and contributing your very powerful energy. And with that being said, I'm going to come down and close out tonight's healing circle. And I will see you all at the next.